They told us that happiness is our birthright, not just a dream, not just a possibility, but a guarantee, something that should arrive each morning like the rising sun, effortless, constant, ours, simply because we are alive. But what if that's the first and greatest lie? In the streets of the modern world, happiness has been crowned king. Every decision, every habit, every vision of the good life is shaped around it. From the moment we open our eyes as children, we are taught your worth is measured by your joy. If you are not smiling, not glowing, not radiating gratitude and positivity, then something must be wrong with you. And so the hunt begins. We chase happiness like it's the air we breathe, convinced that without it, we're failing at life itself. We scroll through endless faces, smiling under perfect sunlight. We listen to motivational voices telling us to choose joy, stay positive, manifest abundance. But beneath this shining surface, there's a quiet pressure, a weight pressing on anyone who wakes up feeling tired, lonely, uncertain. Because here, in this age, unhappiness isn't just unpleasant, it's unacceptable. We have turned a human emotion into a crime. Sadness is treated like a sickness, anxiety is a malfunction, doubt is a defect. Every fluctuation of the heart is something to fix quickly, quietly, and without leaving a trace. The irony is that the more we try to force happiness, the further it slips from our grasp. Because the moment joy becomes an obligation, it stops being freedom. It becomes a performance, an exhausting show between what we truly feel and what the world tells us we should feel. But maybe, just maybe, the problem isn't that we're sad. Maybe the problem is that we're not allowed to be. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will not only challenge everything you've been told, it may just set you free from a prison you didn't even know you were in. If this already stirs something in you, if you sense a deeper truth beneath the noise, subscribe now, follow this channel, because what you're about to hear might be the most important thing you learn this year. I once knew a man named Elias, born in the dust and stone of a small Mediterranean village in the early 1900s. He had lived through wars, famine, and the collapse of empires. He had seen whole cities reduced to rubble and friends buried in the earth before their time. When I met him, he was well into his 80s, his back bent, his hands weathered, his eyes steady. One day, as we sat beneath a fig tree, I asked him, Elias, after all you've been through, would you say you've lived a happy life? He chuckled, a dry, slow laugh. My boy, he said, the world you live in wants you to believe life is supposed to be happy, but life is not happy or sad. It is life. Happiness visits and then leaves. Sadness does the same. Only a fool tries to make the guest stay forever. That truth struck me harder than any sermon I'd heard. It echoed the wisdom of Kierkegaard, who warned that happiness is not our natural resting state, and Schopenhauer, who went further, saying life was never meant to make us happy at all. Suffering, he claimed, is the default. But in our modern age, this wisdom has been buried under layers of pastel-colored promises and influencer smiles. We have built an entire economy on the promise of constant happiness. We are told that peace is only one app away, that fulfillment can be unlocked with a subscription, a morning routine, or a 5-step journal method. And when these tools don't work, when the glow fades and the emptiness returns, we blame ourselves. We think, maybe I didn't try hard enough. Maybe I wasn't grateful enough. Maybe there's something wrong with me. This is not inspiration. This is manipulation. It's a market built not on healing, but on hope. Not on truth, but on the illusion of control. The more we believe that happiness is a permanent state we should have, the more inadequate we feel when it's absent. We scroll through highlight reels, comparing our worst days to someone else's best, and each time the silent whisper grows louder, I'm not enough. And so the treadmill speeds up. Another book, another course, another hack, another version of ourselves to chase. We keep running until we are too exhausted to notice we are going nowhere. Elias never owned a smartphone. He didn't meditate at sunrise or track his dopamine. Yet there was a calm about him, the kind that doesn't need to be posted online to exist. His joy was not loud or glittering. It was grounded. He knew how to sit with a bad day without needing to fix it. He knew how to let grief have its time without shame. His secret was this: he had never bought into the lie that life must always feel good. And because of that, he was free. Think about that for a moment. What would your life feel like if you no longer had to perform joy, if you could meet sadness without panic, if you could see discomfort not as failure, but as part of being alive? Because here's the truth: when you exile sadness, you exile a part of yourself. And that part often carries the seeds of meaning. If you're beginning to see the cracks in the story we've been sold, don't turn away. Subscribe. Stay with me. Because where we're going next will take us even deeper into the shadows where the real treasure hides. There comes a point when the mask begins to crack, when the smile you've worn for years feels heavy on your face, when every positive affirmation starts to sound hollow, when you realize you've been living a script that was never yours. This Kierkegaard called despair, not just sadness, but the sickness of a soul that has become disconnected from its true self. The deeper tragedy is that many never even notice. They are too busy curating their lives for others to see. But when the illusion finally burns away, when you stand there stripped of all the mantras and filters and borrowed dreams, you may feel lost, empty, frightened, and yet this is where the real journey begins. Because once the false layers are gone, you can finally meet yourself as you are. In that meeting, something shifts. You stop demanding that life be happy all the time. You stop resisting the darker seasons. You begin to see that joy and sorrow are not enemies, but partners. That grief can walk hand in hand with gratitude, that beauty can exist even in the shadow. And in this acceptance, a different kind of peace emerges. Not the euphoric high sold in commercials, not the perfect life displayed on a vision board, but a quiet, steady wholeness. A life lived without a mask. A life where presence matters more than performance. You realize you don't need to chase happiness because what you were really seeking was never happiness at all, but authenticity. And authenticity can exist in the sunlight and in the rain. This is the great deception of our age. Not that happiness is impossible, but that it should cost us our truth. And once you trade your truth for someone else's version of joy, no amount of positive vibes will ever be enough. So let go of the performance. Step out of the script. Allow yourself to be fully alive, messy, uncertain, real. And in doing so, you may find that the peace you've been chasing was never out there. It has been here all along, waiting for you to stop running. If these words have found you, if they've stirred something deep, subscribe now. Stay close, because the journey into truth is only just beginning.